Hello guys and welcome to a new video. In fact, the very first video of Pan India Motors in which we will be discussing a little bit about Honda CB200X ADV. So guys, just look at this bike. I actually feel like this has got a really big bike feeling to it. Don't you think so? Do let me know. Okay, do let me know in the comments if you feel like that. So let's begin with the headlight. The headlight actually looks quite practical and well designed in that fairing. Now this windshield, that too is quite practical. I'll talk about this later. Let's talk about the knuckle guards for now. It's of very good quality, I think, at least for good quality for this price, and the lights have also been integrated really well into it. Showa upside down Fox. Guys, do you see any other vehicle in the sub 2 lakh segment that actually provides you with upside down Fox? Yeah, we do have the Hornet 2.0, but yeah, that too is a Honda, and at the same time that belongs to a very different segment. And when it comes to this particular segment, it's only the 200X. Now let's talk about the brakes, which is a 276mm disc in the front and a 220mm disc in the rear. And we don't have a dual channel ABS, we have a single channel ABS, but that's okay for people who want to spin the wheel and all. It actually does the job. And if you talk about the ground clearance, this bike has got a 167mm ground clearance, which is not quite big when compared to other ADVs in the market, but it's certainly manageable. You just have to drive a little bit carefully, but it's okay, you can manage that. Now to talk of the engine, we have got a 184cc engine which produces 16.1 Newton meter torque and around 17 horsepower, which gives you a decent top speed and a decent cruising speed. Now to speak of the tank, it's a fiber tank, so you can't use magnetic tank bags and all, but still you can use a pretty big tank bag, although not magnetic. Now of the seats, we have a tightly cushioned pair of seats, split seats, which are actually comfortable. For me, it was actually comfortable. Even for my pillion, it was quite comfortable while we were taking some 50-60 kilometer ride today. I think that should do the job. And below, we have got the sari guard, which is like mandatory for every Indian bike, I think. So, but it has been like done really well. It's not looking bad. Now, talking about the stickers, we have got the CB200X sticker over here. Now on the tank also, we have got a pretty good looking 200X sticker and a Honda badging over there. The other stickers, the EVM stickers, they are of the showroom from where I've taken this vehicle. Now this particular vehicle is actually last year's model. The current model actually has got a side stand sensor as well. Now we have the pillion grab rail, which is quite sturdy and purposeful. But at the same time, for people, those who are sitting sideways, like the ladies or mom or someone else sitting sideways, it might create a bit of a problem. I think so. I haven't asked anyone to sit there, but otherwise it's a good one. It's a good strong one. Now talking of the meter console, we have got the tachometer here, we can see the speed here, and here we have the time, the fuel indicator, the gear position indicator, and when you use this particular switch, we can see the trips and all. We can set the trips like trip A, trip B, battery volt, and the total distance covered. Now we have the ABS light, the neutral light, the engine light, and the bright light there. Now we have got the keyhole over here on the tank, which actually looks like a pretty good. The clutch feel, that too is pretty good. It actually feels pretty light to me. I'm actually really comfortable with the clutch feel. I think I can ride this whole day without any strain to my hands, to my wrist. Now here we have the engine kill switch, the hazard lamp switch. The hazard lamp switch, when you switch it on, all the four indicators will start lighting up simultaneously together. Okay, here we have the engine start and a pretty decent horn. Now to talk of the engine bash plate. So regarding this, I have heard many people saying that this particular bash plate, they could have given it in metal, but it's okay, I think, because this is anyways not an off-road machine. This is not like meant for a complete off-road. So I think it's pretty reasonable. It's okay. I can manage with that. You should definitely go and take a look. Now, coming to the rear, we have this X tail lamp. You must be quite familiar with this in the previous models like Hornet and all that. But in this particular model with this X to its name itself, this actually looks pretty matching. I think that's pretty much all about the bike that you can say by keeping it on the stand. The rest, I think we'll discuss on the ride. So, hello guys. So we are going to give you a brief idea of how it feels like to be on the CB200X. So guys, I personally feel like this is a really good all-rounder. Okay, this is a really good all-rounder because this one has got a really cool and really, you know, relaxed seating posture, which you can see because my hands, just look at my hands. I'm at a really comfortable position. Even my legs, I'm not feeling any kind of strain on my legs. And the vehicle actually is so purposeful. It's quite purposeful because if you are a person who wishes to go on like some really good tours, like some really long tours, I'm sure you can rely on this bike. And if you, especially if you're a person who actually wants a little bit of mileage on the bike that you're using, if you want a good tank range, guys, this is the vehicle for you because it really has got that thing in it. This thing, this windshield, it's actually giving quite a good wind protection because while I was riding at 80-90 and all, also I was actually getting enough wind protection to not feel tiredness or any that sort of thing. And let's just look Lulu Mall. Yeah. So another thing, the suspension of this bike. The suspension of this bike, it is actually properly suited for highway touring. So don't think that this is an adventure. Just because it's an adventure bike, don't think that this is meant for off-roads. This is actually meant for adventure tours on road. So that's a good thing actually. You know, not everyone doing this highway touring are interested in off-road. So this vehicle is actually perfectly suited for them, those who actually want to go on like long tours, like mile munching machine. And one thing that you have to know, that this thing has got a top speed, which I think I saw many people saying that the top speed is not quite enough for them. But guys, why do you tour? Why do you go for a tour? Do you go for a tour just to race with other bikes? You will race with other bikes, you will stop at somewhere, all those bikes will cross you. So that's what normally happens when it comes to racing. But otherwise, like if you're a person, like if you're actually wanting to cover so many kilometers, like if you want to drive at like 120 kilometers straight or 130 kilometers straight throughout the day, then of course this is not the bike for you. But if you are a person who would like to go on touring on a Royal Enfield or that kind of a bike that would give you a top speed of 100, 110 and or 120 and all that, that cruising speed of 110 and all that, then this is certainly the bike for you, because this will certainly offer you a really good cruising speed of 100 to 110, which is enough for Indian roads. See, Indian roads are so unpredictable. You just can't go on like 140 and all if you are not that kind of an expert. So if you are also a beginner tourer, then also this is the perfect vehicle for you, I would say, because this gives you all the comfort, this gives you all that you need on a tourer. At the same time, this gives you a relatively good mileage. That's very important. See, when it comes to touring, mileage is something really important, especially in a country like India, where not everyone is that rich. Okay, I'm like, personally speaking, I'm not that rich. I would prefer a bike like this because I want a bike that will give me enough tank range, enough of a cruising speed, and enough reliability. Again, when you talk of reliability, Honda is your vehicle, because the kind of reliability that Honda offers, it's something. Okay, that was not a false neutral, because that was my fault. Okay, so the kind of reliability that Honda offers you, that's something, you know, gives you a lot of peace of mind when you tour. You don't have to worry about if the vehicle is going to stop midway. The vehicle is not, because it's Honda. So that's something about this bike. Then if you look at this bike,
What else do we have? The riding posture. Of course, this is not a bike that gives you so many features, okay, but at this price point, if you compare this bike to others in the same segment, it's okay. It's okay not to have so many features, because if you compare this to Xpulse also, still this is a good package. A bike like Xpulse doesn't actually give enough pillion comfort when it comes to highway touring and all that, because the seats are a little bit narrow. But on this one, the seats are actually wide enough for a pillion to sit comfortably for like long tours. But yes, the suspension is certainly not matched with the Xpulse or anything, because the suspension is not meant to match with Xpulse. Because this is not an off-road machine. This is an ADV, means it is an ADV tourer. It is not an ADV off-roader. This is something else. Okay, so in that respect, when you tour on roads, if you just because of this suspension, you will actually get good cornering confidence and all that, because you won't feel like you are losing control of the vehicle even while you are like taking corners, because the vehicle is so stable. Another thing, it's quite stable. It feels like it doesn't feel like you are exerting any pressure on the vehicle. The vehicle is actually going by itself, it seems. It's not putting any pressure on your back. Like, you can just sit like this for the whole day, okay. And yes, in gutters and all that, you will certainly have to be a little bit more careful. You will have to go a little bit slowly, because at two places, and on one thing, as I told you, the ground clearance is a bit less. Yeah, the ground clearance is actually a bit less, but if you are a person who rides, a bit reasonably, if you are a person who rides a bit slowly on bumps and all that, you can actually manage that. Even bigger bikes, not proper adventure bikes. Of course, for those proper adventure bikes, you will certainly have to pay more. But for bigger bikes also, like other bikes meant for Indian roads, also have such kind of ground clearance issues. Like if you take Triumph Trident, it's a street naked bike. It's not comparable to this bike. Not comparable to this bike in the sense that it is certainly not a tourer. But still, there are other bikes also. Other bikes also have similar issues of ground clearance. But if you like ride a bit carefully, you can actually manage that. That's not a deal breaker. That's not a big deal. You can actually manage that. You can drive it safely and for you and for the bike. So if I'm riding this bike, I think I'll be really happy with this bike, because I don't want to race on the roads. Top speed of 110 or something is like not a top speed. A cruising speed of 110 something is more than enough for me. Then the seating posture is more than good enough for me. Then the reliability that Honda offers is heaven for me. So that's pretty much all about the riding experience of this bike.
And this is the EVM Honda showroom at Neeramankara, Trivandrum, from where I got this bike for the review. So if you guys want to buy this bike, or if you want to get a test ride of this bike, you can contact them. I'll leave the contact numbers and details in the description box. So guys, until we meet next time, keep smiling, stay happy, bye-bye.